Hey guys, just firing everything up. Let me get this disco light off. Alexa, turn my lights on. Oh yeah, she's listening to me today. I like that. So I'm doing it off the laptop today, guys. So I'm gonna do the water changes. So I'm just gonna kind of position everything. I think that'll be fine. So this will be like a live question and answer while I'm doing the water changes on these caridina tanks. Sorry for any glare, but it is what it is because I need to have my hands free. Are you guys able to hear me just fine? Let me know if you're able to hear me. Because I know there's a lot of bubbles from the... God, I don't like that glare. Are you able to hear me? Yes, you can. All right, let me get the rest of my stuff. So today we're going to do water changes in the caridina tanks, or at least some of the caridina tanks. So, kind of show you how the process that I do for getting this done. Got a step stool. So if you guys have questions, I can reach back and look at the answers. I also want to thank the Aquatic Morning Show. They're ending their live, which I should actually tell them. The Aquatic Morning Show, they're ending their live. They have a 2-hour live Monday through Friday. They're ending it early so I can do this one right here. So I want to thank them for doing all that. But yeah, I had a lot of people asking about how I do my caridina water changes, so I can do the caridina water changes here, and I can go over and answer your questions as well. Thank you to my moderators for being here. Rockos, thank you for ending it soon. I appreciate that. Thank you, 503 Aquatics, for $2.99. I love that. Thank you. I'm just trying to get everything in order that I have for it. Gotta get all my stuff, and I'll show you what I use for my caridina water changes. I gotta find everything first. I was doing water changes yesterday, and I kind of have a thing where I set stuff down and I forget where I set stuff. And I'm looking for my scraper. Yes. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm still getting in order. I know everybody else pretty much has their stuff planned fast. I don't have all this water. Leak someplace. I might have sprung a leak, guys. I gotta find out. I gotta just overfill the tank yesterday. I think I overfilled the tank. But just in case, I'm gonna move all this stuff and figure out what caused this rupture of water in my system over here. So I just put this towel down here for it. All right. So got to get the most important stuff here. My TDS meter. So I use the TDS meter to check my GH and my KH in my water. I have my caridina tanks set between 115 and 130, which is a GH of 4 to 5. The remineralizers I use is the Brightwell GH. It's an easy pump liquid. It's kind of watered down for the average consumer. For breeders, it's kind of not really cost effective, but because I have small tanks, just a little goes a long way. On the bigger tanks, I use a powder form. I use my flipper scraper. Got my tweezers, of course. I got my Nano Python. This works wonders for me. I do it old school way. I don't care if I get in the water in my mouth. This is kind of what it is. Let me see if there's any messages on here. My last one. Yeah, remember to smash that like, leave a comment. I love it. Appreciate it, guys. Hit Joe's like. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everything. I love y'all. So I'm gonna start. How I end up doing it? I'm gonna get my old butt up. Kind of set some of the stuff over here by the camera, so I now have more room. All right. Let's take off all my lids. Every tank I have does have a lid. It's just one of those things where I don't like a lot of evaporation. Powder. So then I'll do one row, and then I'll go into more questions for you guys. All right, so the first thing I do is I end up going through all my tanks and seeing which ones need. I scrape the front of the glass on all my tanks. So I just kind of look through. Some of them are kind of dirty, so I just got to scrape that quick. Get the front glass off. I kind of stay away from the edges so I don't strip the silicone. These are pretty filthy. A lot of my I just scrape during the week, so there's nothing much scrape that needs to get done, but some of them just kind of build up. That's done. Can you guys hear me when I'm standing over here? I just want to make sure. I haven't. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me when I'm standing up. All right. All right. So for the top tanks, I have to use a bucket and a stand. Okay. Use a trusty little Python. I'm going to go 25% on the water. It's kind of tough if we can't move this around. Maybe I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. We're gonna go adventurous here. We're going adventurous here. Yeah. We're going adventurous. Perfect. All right. Let me get up my ladder here. That's how we gotta do it here. All right. So all these have sponge filters. So I'm gonna go over and move some stuff here. So I got some Buca Flolandra that is doing fine. This is a piece of Toyo wood, but it's all broken down, so I'm just going to put a new one in there. Nothing else ready to do water change. If I don't fall backwards. You see this one right here? Yeah. All right. Start my siphon. What I'm doing is I'm just cleaning the substrate. So I'm going to end up taking 25% of water out of this tank and clean the substrate while I'm doing this. Now these are for my caridinas. These are 2.5 gallon tanks. So that's why I use these this nano Python. It's really simple, slow flowing, so I can do a proper good water change in these without taking out too much water. This one I'm doing right now does not have any life forms in there, no livestock. I have my blue steels in here, so a lot of blue steels. So I have some more coming from my buddy Eric Lucas at bipetshrimp.com. It's one of Vin's lines. So I did a pre-order with him, so I will be doing an unboxing in the future of all Vin's products that I end up getting from him. So do a nice good cleaning on this one. So this is what's nice about having long stacks of tanks like this. It's going to be really simple for me to do the water changes just because it goes one to another to another to another. And I can take out stuff I just don't want, like an old piece of mesh. Don't really need that. So I'll put it down here. Take care of that later. All right, I can do the next water change. Taking out 25%. I can read the messages when I go over there in a second. Let me just finish up this row, and then I'll catch up on messages. Yeah, this is like it. I do this every 2 weeks. for these tanks. So I have a little rotation I do. So I'll do all the caridinas first, and then from the caridinas, I'll do neocaridinas, and then I'll do the fish tanks, so then I'll do a beta tank. It's a never-ending water change system over here. I mean, I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to work at fish stores. I want to work at fish stores." They don't realize that majority of their work is doing water changes. And some people, they just don't want to do water changes. So I don't mind them. As long as you have a system, that's what they say. So, but I know a lot of you guys ask how I do my caridina water changes, so I might as well just kind of show you. So as you see, I'm lifting the filters out of every one of these tanks. So I end up cleaning the filters up. This one does have livestock. This one has my blue metallic boas in there. So I'm gonna be very careful in this one because I did have a pregnant one in there. I just need to check to see if there's any babies in there. I don't see any babies, so I need to make sure that I'm careful just in case. Just want to do a small water change. There's no babies yet. I don't see. So I want to make sure you count the water change in here. You're probably like, "What are you doing? You're making a mess in here." But they need their water change. Stimulates the rain out in the wild, which would cause them to molt. I'm not worried about my mama tossing her babies at all, because she's pretty far gone. So that's a good water change of that one. So extra water. Next one. That one going too. Like I said, I'll catch up on your guys' messages in one second as soon as I get this row done. This one has Ishi. It's a Toyo wood too. Oops. This is really bad. I'm just gonna take this all out. Some Ishi moss in here too. So originally I did moss in every single one, like different types of moss. Over time, over the years, it did get mixed up. So I'm just kind of like re-cleaning a lot of the stuff, and I want it a different way. So I don't mind taking out some old moss. These filters do need to get changed. That's where I wanted to show you guys how to clean the filters. I did a video before about how to clean filters in a shrimp tank. I just want to show you guys how I do it. So most of the substrate out. Next one. Now these are my blue metallic gold culls. So these are the culls that I got from my blue metallic boas, which there's a few of them in there. I just do a light cleaning of this tank. So what I'm doing is I'm going up and down with the python, stirring up the substrate and sucking up all the old poop. I don't know if you guys can see it, how dirty it is. So I'm not sucking up too much. I know a lot of people say, well, I get a lot of substrate in my, it means you're just going too fast. If you slow down, see there's a lot of substrate, and I kind of block it with my finger on the other end, and it falls back down. So I'm able to get that out. Got my 25% out. All right, so in theory, that's all 25% taken out of the tank. So my next step, what I end up doing, let me just kind of move this around. I'm gonna drop this in there. I go to the sponge filter, and this week I will grab all the right filters, all the filters on the right side. I will clean it in the old dirty tank water, so it's nice and clean. Now I'll replace it back on the sponges, put it back in, then I'll go to the next one, grab the right side filter, go to the old tank water, squish it around in there. So you never want to put it in the clean water because you're going to end up getting rid of your healthy bacteria. So I just put it in the old tank water, Now this is the boas, so I gotta make sure I put all that stuff back. This filter. Now, another issue you might always have with these dual sponge filters is sometimes you think that the filter is going bad and you lost a lot of flow. In actuality, a lot of times you don't lose a lot of flow. What happens is these filters can slip down, which I will show you on this one. I will unplug it. Okay, this one's pretty dirty. There's no life forms in there, so I don't mind about doing this. All right, so let me just take the filters off. So sometimes what happens is there's this piece in here, and you pull it out. There's little 4 holes in here, and that will get clogged. So what you got to do is you got to just reposition it a little bit. So I push it all the way down, and then I pull it back up just a little bit. And that'll re-cause good flow to come out, so we clean the filters quick. And then that'll cause your flow to get a little bit better. So a lot of times people think, oh, my filters are all clogged. A lot of times it's not that. It's the fact of that plastic piece slipped down over the 4 holes. It isn't causing good flow. So I'm almost done with this one, guys. See, it doesn't take that long. Once you have a system, it doesn't take that long. As long as you keep on doing the system over and over, repetitively, it works really good. So I'm gonna go back and kind of read some of these messages quick. So, oh, I need my mouse. I need my mouse. Yep, I'm on my ladder. All right, so let me go back up to the top over here. Let's see. I'm going to go up here where Tds Fish is. So the first question is, do you have a website? Never mind, found it. Yes, it's joesshrimpshack.com. Morning live stream for any West Coasters. Nice. I need that little siphon for my 10-gallon tank. It's a pain with the regular size. Yes, so I do have the small sizes. You can also go on like bulkreefsupply.com, and it's called the mini, which is a 1-inch one. So make sure when you do it, you get the tall one. Otherwise, they have a mini, which the Python is only that big. Kind of sucks. I like the longer hose one. Let's see here. I don't know if you've answered already, but how often do you do your water changes? So I do my water changes once every 2 weeks in my shrimp tanks. And I do the top offs. I just kind of want a big water fluctuation or change because they're like 2.5s and 5s. So once every 2 weeks is good enough for me. Melvin is a good one, yes. I do have a smaller siphon for the 10-gallon, but it's so slow. It makes me want to pull my hair out. I like using the Pythons. Pythons is what I've always used, which creates more waste. I see someone goes over and asks that question. So I do believe that snails produce more waste just because they're constantly eating and pooping, it seems to me. Shrimp, I haven't seen that much waste on there, so I think the snails end up doing more. Plus, you got to feed them more for their shells. Yeah, so the sponge filters, how I do it is I just kind of pick it up and I set it. So on each sponge filter, they have the plastic suction cup. If I can pull it out, there it goes. I just pull it up and I can just set it right on top of the tank, so it actually lifts out of the way, which is cool. Have Mn filters. Yeah, a lot of people like the Mn filters. Do you get your sponge filters from? So I don't get my sponge filters. There's a separate company that's in Wisconsin. They kind of like import them in. I just buy them by the case, which it works for me and stuff, you know. The shrimp shack shooters. Yeah, I know. Everybody likes that one. I hear all the shrimp jokes all the time. So, all right. So, in theory, I got 25% taken out of all these tanks. So, I can literally show you guys. It's 25% taken out of all these tanks, all these top tanks. So, normally what I end up doing is I go from this and I go next to the 5 ones. So, let me get my water. We can start going over and get these filled quick. So what I use for my water, which I'll show you soon. All right. See if I can kind of show this around here. Move the ladder. All right. Kind of bring this camera down. He said, all right, so I have an RODI system in my bathroom underneath the sink. It's a 5-stage, 150 gallons per day. So it's underneath the sink, and I bring it to my Brute system here, which is a normal, you buy it from Home Depot. Then I have a float valve, so the water constantly flows in here until it's full and then it shuts off. I then have a return pump, a makeshift fill hose, which is really nice. So what I end up doing, literally put my finger over it to stop the hose, and I can start filling it. There we go. So constantly fills the Brute there, so I never run out. And then when I put it up here, I have it just fast enough so the flow is like super slow in the small tanks. And then as it goes down, it goes a little bit faster. And I'm able to put, I have a 90-degree elbow, like right here. Show. Right here. I have a 90-degree elbow that I can put on here that causes the flow instead of pushing down at the substrate. It can actually push through. So that's what I use when I get lower. So this does take a little while for it to fill. So let me, as that's filling, let me move the camera down to the next level, and I can do that. Those tanks. This is going to take a while to fill these top ones. What I want to do is I don't want to have too much water going in there too fast to shock the shrimp. So let's do this. Come. Oh, I did it just right. List. Oh, there goes my lid falling in the water. I get this right. Perfect. All right. Now because I'm that high, I don't need to go over and use the ladder there anymore. Move my fill bucket. Get up other side of this hose. Perfect. All right. So we're able to move some of the stuff on my way. There we go. So you can see these 3 tanks right here. Hose out again. All right. So first step I end up doing is I lift the filters out of the water so I can do some cleaning in here. Use my trusty little Python. Always keep track of your hose up top so I don't overfill. It's been done before. So like I said, I don't have a problem doing this. All you're trying to do is get the water above the fish tank, and then it starts to siphon. Then you drop it in the hose. You don't need to constantly be sucking the water up until you drink it. So I'm just doing a 25% water changes in these 5s, keeping track of my fill over here. And what I'm also looking for when I do these is like the almond leads. Is my almond leads in all broken down where I need to replace it? These are actually doing pretty good. I use almond leads all the time. What happens is the healthy bacteria eats at the sugar in the leaf and starts breaking it down, and it produces biofilm. And that's what the shrimp end up eating. Everybody's always like, oh, they eat the wood, they eat this. No, the bacteria breaks it down and they eat the biofilm off that. So as you see, I'm kind of getting this all done. The Toyo wood in here is totally fine. So we'll get this one done. Let's suck up some water. Keep track of my top tanks. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these hoses down the road, and I'm going to show you how I re-mineralize. So I do not re-mineralize my water ahead of time. Now, a lot of people will do that. I do not do that. The reason behind it is I do not fertilize. I don't overfeed my shrimp. So if I have a water parameter that's just a little bit off, if I re-mineralize the water ahead of time and I put it in there, my water is always going to be off versus having the proper what I want. I want a TDS of 115 to 130 with a GH is 4 to 5 and OKH. So this is actually going pretty quick today.
This is my PRL tank, which I sold out, which I have more on the way. Now, I used to do all my home breeding. Unfortunately, on certain lines, I cannot keep up with the demand. So I have to bring stuff in, but I try and bring the same bloodline that I've always gotten. That's what's always good, is always trying to keep, stability and keeping the same thing. So I have the same quality always coming in and always going out. PRLs. So what happened over in Taiwan is a lot of the breeders over in Taiwan were not making a lot of money on the PRLs because in theory, let me get this, I have to restart the siphon again. In theory, we're 5 years behind what Taiwan does for breeding, and then Europe is 3 years behind. So what we think is popular here has already been popular in Taiwan, and it's not popular anymore over there. So like PRLs is one of the first shrimp that came out into the hobby, and they're just cutting down their tanks of how they're breeding on there. So at one point it was super tough. I think it was like 4 or 5 months I could not get any PRLs. And that's what's tough, is because my home breed got just demolished because everybody kept on buying them. All right, so the next tank I have is the Orange Eye Royal Blues. I won a couple second place winners off that one. What's nice is I actually have a local family who bought some of these, I think, a couple of years ago, and they've been breeding them, so I've been purchasing off them my old lines, which is nice because I'll do that to anyone local that if they keep my line, I will purchase from them. I will support them. He's also a viewer on here. I don't know if he's watching or not, but his son is 9 years old, and he's going to enter in his first contest in Dallas coming up in Aquashella. But he came up with a business plan of how he wants to breed shrimp. And I told him which ones I'm actually looking for and told him which ones I want him to breed for me, just so he can go over and do it. You guys missed it. I almost flooded my top part here. So let me just suck a little water. Let's take a little bit of water out. It's all the way up to the rim with brim. It happens. I get a little distracted and just gotta get that plant out of here. But like I was saying, let me just plant out. He's 9 years old. I think he's got like 7 different caridina tanks that he's going to end up breeding for me. So I'll be able to keep a lot local for him. All right, I think that's going to be about it for the water. I'll check these messages in 1 second, guys. Let me just clean out my filters. All right, so that's 25% on the second roll. Let me take off all my filters, all my right side filters. Remember, we're doing right side this week, guys. Oh, this one's like super filthy. Couple good squishes and it's light. That means it's clean. So then I can push this back in here. It's got Toyo wood underneath it, so I'm going to move there with Toyo wood. And then this is my PRL one, which is going to be super dirty too. I can feel it's pretty heavy. Now, I don't worry about having any extra moss in there. My moss grows pretty quick. So now I know some stores go over and keep Mars systems with their fish and livestock. I don't like using Mars systems, and the reason behind that is if I have a disease in my tank, and a Mars system is basically where everything's in the same system with the sumps and stuff, you can pass the diseases over and over and over. So I don't like doing that. I like individual tanks. I feel my butt vibrating, so someone must be texting me. Push those all down. Now my second row is done. Check to see who's messaging me. Yeah, I could do that. I don't have a problem with doing that with Monster Fish Lady. See, I got to read those messages. This is all filling up right here. Let me just go back on the messages quick, so I can set this back down. Let me just go to Monster Fish Lady, wherever she is. Monster Fish Gal. Gotta find my mouse. There he is. So Monster Fish Gal, I think it's this one. There, Monster Fish Gal, you are now a moderator. Let me go back and read some messages. I know it's like so. I'm from Minnesota, so we like to call it. So I gotta highlight this. I gotta highlight this. Pin message. There we go. So we're from up north. Yeah, sure. You bet you don't. You know, eat a bunch of lutefisk and hot dish. We call it cholla wood, but it's actually Toyo wood. So it's kind of funny because I always say, hey, you know, do you need some more cholla wood and everything? It's actually Toyo wood. So this is what it does. I always mispronounce it, so it is what it is. All right. Yes, caridinas. I do. Let me go up from where I last left off. Let's see here. Oh, hey, here's Tom Hanks' comments. Yeah. What company from Wisconsin? I'm from Wisconsin. I can look it up and I can actually put the link on there. They have it on eBay. So I know you can go over and go on eBay and you can purchase it over there. I can find the link for it and post the link later on it. I swapped over the water here. On that subject, the filter, does spreading a bit of biofilter pellets into the substrate make any difference? Well, the substrate's going to have bacteria in there. I like using the sponge filters because it can hold more healthy bacteria than like a hang-on back. The substrate does carry some bacteria in there. I know a lot of breeders do a bare bottom tank. I like having something on the bottom that it can actually support biomedia as well, or microbacterial. All right. Hey, Supreme Aqua, I'm leaving Joe in Minnesota, move to Wisconsin next week. Yeah, JL, he is my moderator. He's also the gentleman that is helping me with the YouTube and my Discord channel. So he does really great things. He should be stopping in here today. I did not. So what, JL, when I end this live today at 11 o'clock, I will actually drive to Bulk Reef, pick up your order, and come back. So then we can go to Home Depot to finish it. So he's going to have an automatic system like this as well. I'm going to help make them. So I'm just going to go to the Home Depot and help make it. On Alaska, yep. Just catching up with the messages. Hi, we have the message. So a lot of these just like talking back and forth, which is completely fine. How with that many tanks does Joe not only siphon pump for the end of this python? Because I do it the old-fashioned way. I'm old-fashioned. I'm very like I'm all about like I do something and it works, so I always just keep on doing the same thing. It builds my immunities too. Yeah. I'm just going down all the way down. So my moderators, if anything needs to get done too, you guys can go over and pin out the question too. So, all right, let me go back to the top here so I can kind of show you how I'm doing my stuff. All right, so let's go back up to the top so I can show you how I remineralize. All right. So, like I said, the remineralizer I use the, here it goes. Gotta fill this back up over here. So I use for my small tanks, I use the Brightwell Caridina GH. It has just GH in it, no KH in it. So what I tell people is when you get it, they did come up with a poopy top. So put your finger over the end and shake it well. Minerals do settle on the bottom. When you put it in your tank, it should look like milk going in your tank. So that's usually pretty good. Then I use my TDS meter. So what I keep my parameters at is a GH of 4 to 5, which is a TDS of 115 to 130. So turn this on, check out what it is. It says 108, so it's a little bit low. So this is really forgiving stuff. So it's usually what it works out for me is usually one pump is usually like 15 points. Sometimes it changes, so I just do 1 point or one squirt. Kind of, as you see, kind of water kind of mixes around. And you can instantly just put your meter back in there and kind of watch it kind of move. So it's at 108. Let's do a little bit more. Pump it in there. Switch my water over. So everybody's like, well, if I put pumps in there, how long do I have to wait? You don't have to wait that long. It's an instantaneous thing. So I just kind of move it all around. So I got roughly about 130 or so. I don't know if you guys can see that. So let's go to the next tank. Next tank is at 96. One good squirt in there. As you see, the filter is pushing it all around, circulating it. And I can watch it kind of build up. Still at 96. Kind of let it mix. Another pump in there. Sometimes if you want to, you can even grab like your tweezers or net and kind of mix it around. And recheck it. 130. Let's go to this, my blue metallic bowl ones. It's already at a 127. So this is why I do not remineralize my water ahead of time. If this water crept up for the TDS, and I remineralized it, my number would be through the roof right now. So right now it's at 127. I'm still adding water in there. It'll probably settle down to like 120, which is completely fine. And then as it's filling, what I end up doing is I grab my lids and I'll clean my lids. Tank water. A lot of people don't clean their lids. Glass cuts off 10% of the light. So if you're trying to grow plants in there, you should have a nice clean glass. The polycarbonate tops also cut off 10%. So I have different types of boosts in there, so I kind of try and keep the same ones in there. Let's see how dirty that is, and then let's kind of get some water. Kind of wipe it down, make it look all nice and pretty. Gotta have some pretty tanks there. When you're all said and done, looks really nice. Dry it off. Nice and clean. Put that back on. Put my boost name back on here so people, if they want to buy it, they know the name. Check my water in this one again, 120. So like I said, I'm not going to remineralize that one. So I did pick up a lot of boosts from buypetshrimp.com. His boost order did come in. He's a really good friend of mine. So I like carrying his products as well. Also, when I get the shrimp from Vin, which Eric has the exclusive rights from Vin for him, I ordered, I think it ended up being 600 shrimp, I think, of the caridina, the higher end ones, or not really super higher end, but the caridinas that I normally go through a lot. So I went through him. So gonna get this going. Perfect. I'm gonna go back down to my platform here. Move kind of everything right here. So when you're all said and done, this water is pretty nasty. I can kind of show it from cleaning all the filters. But in the day, I'll end up getting a lot of these tanks done. I'll do like 2 racks. So yesterday I did these first 2 racks. I'll do 2 racks today and get that done. It's just a constant battle for me of doing water changes. So let me go back up to the top here. Is it an aqua need for the sponge filters? So I'll show you the sponge filters I use. I do have them listed on my website, but you can buy them. So it's the XY 2831s is the small ones. They're usually ranked up to a 10-gallon tank. So I use these in the 2.5 and the 5-gallon tanks. And then on my 10s and 20s, I use the XY 2822s. So, which is nice, it has more mass that can actually pump in there. I saw them on my website too. I think the small ones are 6 and the large ones are 650 with the new shipping increase. So I hate raising up prices, but prices get brought up to me. So is the water still on? No, I keep on I constantly move it. So it's once it gets so the pump I have in my brute system is a smaller pump. So when it goes up high, it doesn't pump as fast. Fish room things on this reading now. Yeah, flow valves work great. I mean, I love them. I've set up fish rooms for people before, and I put flow valves on all their tanks. Mine, I don't do it here. I like actually doing the hard work. Thank you, Monster Fish Gal, for giving up my website. Appreciate it. And you guys can support anybody that you want to. I'm gonna be honest. Is as long as you're in the hobby, that's what makes me happy. So, all right. So the question I had was, let me just pin it here. Is Natural Aquarium says, have some GH booster. Can I remineralize with that, or do you think if I could cause issues with the pH swing from lack of carbonate minerals? So, check my tank. KH is what keeps your water stable. So, in caridina tanks, we need to buffer down the pH. So we put no KH in there to allow it to buffer down the active substrate to buffer down. Now you can go over and use a GHKH remineralizer, which has the carbonate hardness in there, and you can go over and keep it up to like a point. I do believe a 0.4, and it'll still buffer down. If you're worried about the high and low pH swing, so excess CO2 in your tank will cause your pH to drop. Extra oxygen will cause it to rise. So if you're having like fish in a fish tank, you can just put an air stone in there. It should keep it regulated. But like on my neocaridinas in my planted tanks, I keep it between 220 and 300, which is a GH of 6 to 8 and a KH of 4 to 6. So it keeps it nice and stable on that one. I think so. I go always by the TDS. I never go by the KH. Save some money too. So I'm to that message. All right. Do I do water changes when there's small babies in the shrimp? Good question. Good question. So what usually happens is when a baby's first release, I call them peewees and stuff. I usually wait to do a water change so if it's due for a water change, I'll wait another 2 weeks till they get bigger, till they get a little bit larger, so they don't premature molt. And that's what I end up doing. Some people just keep on doing it, but I don't. I wait a couple extra weeks, check my water again. Move to the next tank. I just walk away when filling up the tanks. I will tell you this right now. My store gets flooded at least once a week, at least minimum once. I now have I'll show you. I have a crash pan for underneath the washer because I normally flood it by filling up buckets. I fill up a bucket, and I forget about it, and then all of a sudden I start hearing water on the floor. So yeah, Lefty, it's going pretty good, man. So just gotta kind of get caught up in messages. All right, so that's all there. I don't think I missed any super chats or anything else. Did I? If I did, please, moderators, please let me know if I did. I'm scrolling back up to see if I did. I don't see that I missed any. Perfect. All right, so I do something a little bit different on my 10-gallon. So let me go over, and it's filling up my water on the top one. But let me empty out my bucket, and I'll show you what I do with my bottom tanks. Okay. So I just got to dump out this bucket. Be right back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. So the next tanks I'm going to do is the 10-gallon tanks on the bottom, which are a little bit lower. And because if I use this line, this Python the whole entire time, it would take me forever. So I do something a little bit different. Let me go get the piece. All right. So I grab a normal Python line with no siphon on there. So let me go down here. Let me get down on your guys' levels right here. All right, so what I do is I go in the tanks, trying to find the old almond leaves. Is done. Trying to look around. This Toyo wood is fine. The next tank, the almond leaf is done. So that's all done. All right, so the first tank I have all the way over here, I had a big algae outbreak. And what I did is I added some mystery snails. And as you see, they had babies all over. So I'm going to kind of just let them be on that tank. And then I'll go to the next tank over here. So I'm going to scrape the glass and find my trusty little... There it is. My little flipper. That's right, my little flipper. Scrape the glass. Nice and clean. And then I'll move it to the next tank, just because I know I got food over there too. Keeping an eye on that tank up top. Make sure it doesn't overflow. And believe it or not, like, the shrimp will move out of your way when you're doing water changes. Up there. That's got about another ½ inch of water, so I'll be able to get this going. Start the siphon. It's going. Start doing my water change. Start from the front, kind of work my way to the back. See if I can get this going, so you guys can watch. Just taking my time, not rushing it. And then I'll move my filter up. Get underneath it. So when I did that, it caused a lot of stir up. So I can literally suck that up right now. Going back, putting back the filter. Water's coming up pretty brown still. Let's go in here. Clog. Perfect. All right, so this is going to start flowing, so I just move it down. Now it's going to go a lot faster because as I move that pump down, the pressure's not so high in it, so it's going to fill these tanks fast. So, got a little bit of water there. Does taste like coffee, I'll tell you that right now. But, all right, so like I said, I do 10s a little bit different, so I did clean a lot of the substrate up on that one. And then move to the next one. And I'll show you what I do. So this is my Galaxy fishbone tank, is this one right here. So I'll start this one. Go back, there's a lot of babies in this one, but they're a little bit older babies. Like I said, guys, I'm constantly keeping an eye on my tanks because I do flood a lot. And that would be super embarrassing if I flooded on camera here. So, just kind of cleaning up the substrate a little bit. Getting around the Toyo wood. Clean up any extra food that was here. There's never any extra food because the guys is constant scavengers. Let's take over. You guys thought it was going to flood, and nope, not going to happen. Not today. Not on my watch. So I got a lot of this up. Gonna stop the water. Now, there's not 25% taken out. So what I do is I grab the bigger hose and I just take some of the water out to cause that 25% water change. Because I want to go over and simulate it raining out in their natural habitat, so I want them to mold and breed more. And that's how you end up doing it, is by doing that 25% water change to cause them to mold. Take up some more water. I go my next tank, do the same thing. Go over here. The shrimp are always trying to swim towards it, so you just got to constantly move it around. I love this tank. This Galaxy Fishbowl tank is really turning out really nice. I've had quite a few releases in this tank. Try not to suck these babies up. And then blow up the extra water. All right. Now, like I said, filter out, take the right side off. This week is right side. Clean it out. Next time I do a water change, it'll be the left side, guys. So I can't really move this over. I'll get over so I can flood. This was really dirty. It's taking a while to clean. So I used to smoke, guys. I don't smoke anymore. But people used to ask me all the time, hey, if you smoke, how do you do your water changes? Because you don't want to contaminate. And I said it was quite simple. So like majority of what I end up doing is like when I smoked, I always smoked with my left hand. I never stuck my left hand in the water. So I was always right-handed on that one. Right. In there. Snails are completely fine. No need to clean that water. All right. So now that I took out that water, so there's no almond leaf in that one. So I take my trusty little almond leaf. I have a pretty big one, which I don't need that big a one for there. I take it, drop it in. Usually takes a few days to sink. I'm also going to do it to the mystery snails. Give them a little feed. So let's bring this back up here for you guys. All right, we're going to remineralize these top tanks. I just got to find my remineralizer. How we move it. All right. Go to my Orange Eye Royal Blues, 125, perfect for me. Go to the PRL tanks, 116, which is completely fine. Go to this one, 110, a little bit low. Give it a little couple pumps right there. And let's go to the plastic or the glass. I'm still using glass on these tanks. So let me just kind of move this around. Kind of clean it. So I have plants in there, so I want to make sure. All right, so this one's almost full, so I'm going to put my thumb over it. So I put my thumb over it so it doesn't spray, move it to the next tank. Line up these tops right here. Air hose over here, so there we go. Next tank is the PRL one, so clean that off. Oh, nice and beautiful. Oh, why is, oh, I have a piece of Toyo wood underneath here. Like, why is this not going down all the way? Now it goes down all the way. So I love that I quit smoking. Now, the reason behind that, it wasn't because of my health and stuff. My friend Manny, who's like a brother by a different mother, he works for JBJ. I also work for JBJ, doing sales for them. He had a lymphoma scare, and we always go to shows together. So the biggest thing is like if he quit smoking and I still smoked, he's gonna end up wanting to smoke because we go to the shows together. So he said he's quitting. So I said I'll quit with you, and that's what I did. It's been since June 30th. He slipped a couple times. I haven't. I have not smoked at all. So, but he has. So he goes, I'm so sorry, Joe. I smoked. I'm like, that's okay, man. It's okay. Still love you. Brother by different man. All right. What do Alder? So I'm going to go back to the talk and look at it. Thank you, Monster Fish, for showing my Discord channel. Appreciate it. Love you all. Let me just go back up there. It's got ideas Supreme. I wonder if anyone's tried this. Encounter the trying. It's Supreme has. All right. So let me just kind of look. Snails. All right, thank you, Monster Fish Gal. List my Discord channel. So I have a Discord channel for random chat on there. Fasten the tanks. Okay, there's my Facebook page. Thank you. Joe Shrimpshack, thanks for the website. Plumbing project. Is that weird? I actually enjoy aquarium plumbing. Dude, a lot of people love aquarium plumbing. I'll tell you that right now. Switch this over. There we go. What do alder cones do? So perfect question, RB Animal Rescue. Let me pin that up there quick. So alder cones does the same thing that almond leaves and cholla does. So the belief is, well, it actually happens. Tannins, when you put wood, alder cones, or almond leaves, it releases the tannins. When you have a lot of tannins in the water, it lowers your pH. But what happens is you'd have to have a lot of alder cones and a lot of almond leaves for that to happen. But what happens is the bacteria ends up breaking down the alder cones and it produces the biofilm, and the shrimp scavenge on the biofilm. So that's what happens on that one. Beep.b, okay, I'm going to make a PVC, okay, once the tank is full valves closed, I'll do the video. Awesome. Make sure you do, Florida. Just kind of reading all these messages. So the water alarms, I have done that before in the past. If you do salt water, those water alarms will not work after a while. So what will happen is the salt will screw up the connectivity on there. So I've used them before. Oh, what are the Ziploc bags for? So the tanks that I have, Bucophilandron from Eric, I have the name of the booze and how much it costs. So then I keep track of it by putting in there. So this is silver powder, so I have it on there. All right. Yeah, you can see some shrimps. I don't have a problem. Yeah, I'll show you some shrimps. Yeah, I'll show you some shrimps in a second. Natural aquariums. So the next question was: is there a reason to take out the old Toyo wood? I'm just pin it up here. The old Toyo wood. Other than space, is it okay to just add neutral? You can. So what happens with mine is I have those are 2.5 gallon tanks. So as it breaks down, I like to put a fresh piece of Toyo wood in there versus forgetting about it. Plus, a lot of times I used to tie moss on it, so when it starts breaking down, it starts floating all over the place. So I just replace it whenever I can. I have an older gentleman. He's 82 years old. We call him Don Toyo. He's down in New Mexico. He cuts Toyo wood for me. I also do wholesaling for the Toyo wood. I know Cobalt buys a lot from me every single week. So usually what it is, I'll buy it for my older gentleman, and then what will happen, I will ship him. He drinks too. I will ship him Jack Daniels like once a month, and he loves it. So, hey, Science Gal, she's in here. Good morning. Good morning. Glad you could make it. All right, so let me remineralize these two tanks, and then I can go back to showing you some shrimpies, some shrimps. Those are fine. Let me get my lids. So I'm gonna see if I can go over and show some scrimps with this camera, or if I have to go over and fire my phone. So give me 1 second. Now what I'm doing is on this tank that had my mystery snails, I do not need to breed anymore for them, so I'm just going to fill up the tank and say no more breeding. I don't need any more. I have also a home breeder that breeds the purples and magentas and blues and ivories and brings them into me, and he took a couple clutches but I don't need this many mystery snails. So let me take this out. It's on. Move all this stuff so I don't spill it. But that is how I do my water changes. So let me see if I can. I think if I go over and take this, it's not going to look good. So let me see if I can just go on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can do this. You guys might be able to tell me if I can or not, okay? So I want to go over and rejoin this. So if I turn the volume down, shut the volume off, if I ask to, I gotta see if I can join. So is there a way that if I fire up my phone here, that I can go over and I don't need any more clutches, man. I got, dude, I have a big tank. I have a 15-gallon tank. There's tons of them over there. I want to go over if my moderators can tell me, because if I take this computer and I try and show shrimp, it's not going to work versus using my phone. Can I join my live chat from my phone, or do I have to go not be myself and be someone else? So someone says, what is the best shrimp for someone that is getting back into them? If you like doing caridinas, which is the harder water shrimp that has KH in there, either PFR, Blue Dreams are my #1 sellers. Blue Dreams look great, the green jades. If you do a lot of plants, I like doing the pumpkins because they pop, same as the yellows, which in theory, let's see if I can do this. I think I'll have to, let me do this. Let me see. I think if I go off Facebook, because I haven't posted on Facebook, so let me just see if I can just log in off Facebook and come in as a nobody. Let's see here. Joe Shrimp Shack. Joe Shrimp Shack. This one right here. Set OBS, yeah. I know I was going to do StreamYard, so here it is. So I'm going to see if I can do this. If I click on this button, it came up as me. All right. So what I can do is I can I can take this computer around. I feel like I'm holding up a little kid for the first time. See, guys, my shrimpies. So let me fire up my phone though, at least, so I can at least see what I'm showing you. Takes a second. So right now I don't have. This is not off StreamYard. This is actually off the normal YouTube channel and stuff. So I know I should have done this off my phone. I knew I should have done this, but when I when I hosted it off my laptop. Just 'cause I thought it was a bit easier. So let's see here. What I could do is I could show you my clutches I already have. So let me walk around the store. Yeah, I hung all this wood up. It looks super cool, but look at this. Look at all these snails I have. I'm not hurting for scales. Snails are snails are snails. So let's see if any messages on here. Yes, I will go over and let me do this. I'm trying to think how I can do this now. So I wish I could join in on this, but maybe I can do something. Let me try this. Hold on a second. So let me exit out. Let me sign out on my phone. See if I can. Hold on. If I sign out on my phone, okay, and then I sign back in underneath add an account. Let's see if I can just add an account. I'm gonna see if I can use an old account. I don't even know if it's still working. So let me just see if I can do this, okay?
We're gonna find out. Yeah, I think it worked. So let me see if I can fire up this Joe Shrimp Shack one. Now I should be able to. So this is my other account here. Now, is there a way? So I signed in from a different account. Can I include that person in? So let me just do this. Hi. Let me see if it's on there. All right. So I should. So it has that hi. So let me see if I can add this video on there. Put user in timeout. Hide user. Remove. Oh, I can't do it. I thought I'd be able to. I can't do that. So I have my snails. So Mystery Snail Guardians on joesshrimpshack.com. I do have my snails listed on there for a mystery snails and my Nerites as well, same as assassin snails. I thought for sure I was going to be able to do this. That is just a hokey dokey thing. But SteamYard, I would have been able to do it. So unfortunately, I can't do it on this one. So what I'll have to do is manage Google accounts. Okay, it's coming out of this page now. Perfect. All right. So I wanted to show you guys shrimp and snails and stuff. What I could do is I could fire up the band. If you guys go over to band, I could do band, but I do need to get over to I got Joseph calling me. 1 second here. Hey Joe, let me call you right back. I'm doing a live stream, okay? Joe, hey, I'm doing a live stream. Can I call you right back? All right, bye. It's one of my customers that I wholesale to. I do need to get to Bulk Reef and pick up JL's order. What I can do is I can do later on today, I can fire up, I'll feed my shrimp, and what I'll do is I'll fire up the live again and do it if you guys want. So that's what I will do is I'm going to end this live. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all my memberships on here. I do have membership programs here. The $3.90, I think it's $2.99. I think it's $2.99 a month. Gets you 10% off my website. The $6.99 gets you 15% off, and the $19.99 gets you T-shirt and gets you 20% off. I tell people if you're from Minnesota, it only makes common sense to sign up for a membership because when you come into my store, you're going to get your money back anyways. I do membership-only videos, which I need to do a little bit more of those. I'm doing more shorts. I'll be doing more on Discord as well. But thank you guys for all the watching. If you have questions, you can either leave the questions on here, and I do answer all the messages that are put on my YouTube channel, or you can go to the Discord channel and you can ask questions over there and I will get to them. What I will do is when I run to Bulk Reef, pick up the order and come back, I will drop food in all my shrimp tanks and I will show you, I will fire up another live of like kind of like a tour here of what it all looks like. So thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. We have 30 people on. I love you guys very, very much. Thank you, Aquatic Morning Show. Love you guys a lot. We're going to end up talking about some sponsorship. I love you guys. So thank you guys very much, and I will check you on in a few minutes. All right, bye.